Hi guys, welcome to Counterpoints. My name is Connor, and today we're going to be breaking down the lore of Space Marine 2 as if it were a movie. This masterpiece in art was released late last year, and to be honest, the reason why we didn't do this earlier is because it's so rich with lore and visuals, I genuinely didn't know how to tackle it. But, as my commissar always said, how do you eat a Carnifex? And the answer is one bite at a time. Whether you're a noob or veteran of the 40k universe, I invite you to come along for the ride, and at minimum, I can show you something cool, and at maximum, I can teach you something about this gritty, dark, beautiful, violent, and complex world. This episode is brought to you by Hawkins & Company. Everything today is soulless and mass-produced, but not the wallets from Hawkins & Company. They're hand-stitched in the United States from some of the finest locally produced leather and come in a variety of styles and configurations. I carry the bifold wallet daily, but they also have trucker and biker-style wallets available. Use code Counterpoints at checkout and get 15% off your order. Get a wallet that's manly, rugged, and refined, all at the same time, today.
Approaching Kadaku. Prepare for atmospheric entry. Approaching drop zone.
The planet Kadaku is a jungle death world in the residuous system of the Segmentum Pacificus in the galactic west. It is under the control of the Imperium of Man, which is an empire of 1 million worlds that is constantly besieged by vicious aliens and the servants of dark gods. The Emperor of Mankind, once the immortal and psychically powerful master of the species, has been sitting and rotting on a golden throne for 10,000 years, wreathed in warp flame. He was mortally wounded in a great civil war known as the Horus Heresy, and 1,000 psychic souls are sacrificed to him daily to keep him alive. He mans the Astronomicon, a beacon that allows the navies of the Imperium to traverse the warp, giving them faster-than-light travel, while also exposing them to harrowing dangers in what is known as the Immaterium. This is the realm of the Dark Gods, from which they play a great game for the souls of the galaxy. The Imperium is constantly fighting for survival, and in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. In the opening, we see a Tyranid ship descending on the planet, raining biopods onto the surface. The Tyranids are an extragalactic species sharing a hive mind with only one goal: to devour. They descend on planets like locusts. Tyranids slaughter and consume all sentient life, transforming biomass into more scuttling creatures to prosecute their terrible campaign. If the Tyranids encounter a particularly vicious prey, they will incorporate that creature's virtues into their own combat forms. As a result, there's a stunning diversity and lethality in Tyranid species as they tunnel through the ground, scuttle across the surface, and take to the air. What unites them is their vast array of teeth, claws, and poisons with which they take down their prey. Once all sentient life is slaughtered and converted, the Tyranids will begin a great harvest of the planet. All useful minerals, biomatter, and even the air itself will be pumped into the Tyranid fleet via acid pits and capillary towers, leaving barren husks of planets where civilization stood only weeks or months before. The Tyranids are some of the most powerful and terrifying aliens in the Warhammer setting. To stand against them, we are introduced to two forces of the Imperium: the Astra Militarum, also known as the Imperial Guard, and the Death Watch Space Marines. The Imperial Guard are mortal humans with few enhancements. What they lack in physical strength compared to their enemies, they make up for in vast numbers and an endless war industry dedicated to their outfitting. Entire planets are dedicated to producing the weapons, armor, and war machines of the Guard, and the Guard deploys in the untold trillions to fight the enemies of mankind. The Death Watch Space Marines, by comparison, are something truly elite and special. Before the Emperor ever revealed himself, humanity had already conquered the stars. They did so in a time known as the Dark Age of Technology, in which humanity mastered terraforming, colonization, and artificial intelligence. A cybernetic rebellion and warp storms drove humanity insane and cut off galactic civilization. Predation by warp beings and rival alien races killed trillions and destroyed humanity's ambitions. To reclaim what was lost, the Emperor knew he needed great warriors. The Emperor created his personal guard known as the Custodes, the flawed but effective Thunder Warriors, and then the Primarchs and their gene sons, the Adeptus Astartes or Space Marines. Space Marines are 8-foot-tall demigods of war, enhanced to be stronger, faster, tougher, and more survivable than any mortal man. They are a dire threat already, but they are additionally clad in ceramic metal alloy power armor that they pilot like an extension of their body, and wield fearsome melee and ranged weapons. During the Great Crusade and Horus Heresy, around the year 30,000, Space Marines were divided up by Primarch, Legion, Chapter, and then Company. Primarchs were and are beings as powerful to the Space Marines as Space Marines are to mortal humans, and it is from them that Gene Seed, the enhancements given to Space Marines, are derived. The Horus Heresy split all factions of the Imperium in two, including the Space Marines. Brother fought brother, and cousin slaughtered cousin, bringing the Imperium to the brink. At the last moment, it was saved by many martyrs and heroes, but it was a shell of its original ambitions. Rather than uniting humanity into a new golden age, it was a dark, justifiably paranoid, dogmatic, vicious, nearly feral set of institutions. This has not improved with the ensuing 10,000 years, but it has gotten more lethal. Roboute Guilliman, the Primarch of the 13th Legion, known as the Ultramarines, instituted many reforms. He codified the tactics, strategies, and organization of the Space Marines, calling for the original legions to be broken up into chapters of 1,000 Marines. This was so no Primarch or Space Marine could threaten the Imperium as the Horus Heresy had. Since its codification, the Imperium has maintained roughly 1,000 chapters of roughly 1,000 Marines, mostly derived from 9 loyalist Primarch gene stocks, although there are foul rumors of experimentation with traitor Gene Seed. After a titanic struggle with the orcs known as the War of the Beast, the Inquisition, the Imperium's not-so-secret police, stood up a new force. Each chapter of Space Marines would be requested to send several of their best alien killers to an organization known as the Death Watch. Here, many chapters, with many varied tactics, cultures, and rivalries, would cross-train in order to make teams of warriors more lethal than the sum of their parts. Marines of the Death Watch are encouraged to shore up their weaknesses and enhance their strengths, allowing them to become valued members of a kill team, tasked with some of the most dangerous missions in Imperial service. They hunt the most dangerous and critical alien threats in order to be the scalpel that removes cancers before they can grow, or as they like to describe it, become the shield that slays. If they are fortunate enough to survive their service, they may return to their chapters and spread the knowledge of efficient alien killing, at least the knowledge that was not memory wiped for being too dangerous for even Astartes to know about. Kill Team Primus is seen entering Kadaku's atmosphere aboard a Corvus Blackstar. Kill Team Primus is made up of Brother Dimitri and Titus of the Ultramarines, Brother Darius of the Dark Angels, Brother Baron of the Black Templars, Brother Ulfar of the Space Wolves, and Brother Kelstros of the Blood Angels. Their goal is to deliver a virus bomb to the planet and defend the Project Aurora facility. The Corvus Blackstar is a formidable stealth dropship, but unfortunately for the kill team, the skies are already teeming with Tyranid gargoyles. The twin assault cannon on the dropship blazes a path through the aliens, but it's not enough. Gargoyles rip open the ship and are met with bolter fire, chainsword slashes, and the cleaving of a power axe. Bolters fire 75 caliber rocket-assisted delayed explosive rounds, and so the gargoyles are easily torn apart. The problem, of course, being that Tyranids operate in swarms, and so Titus is ripped from the Blackstar and thrown to the ground below. I can and will go into further details on the Death Watch, but for the sake of expediency, let's move it forward. Titus battles his way to the Aurora facility, finding all of his teammates dead. He obtains the virus bomb payload and engages the launcher as he's being overrun.
It is done. Flesh from your bones.
Before we continue, let us remember the fallen. On his way to the orbital launcher, Titus found Brother Darius of the Dark Angels, and from him recovered a bolt pistol. Titus found Brother Baron of the Black Templars, and from him recovered the virus bomb payload. Titus found Brother Ulfar just as he was slain by a Tyranid warrior and quickly avenged his death. Titus found Brother Kelstros of the Blood Angels, who appears to have fallen after making a last stand against dozens of Termagants and Hormigons, and is actively being consumed by Rippers. Termagants are basic Tyranid combat forms who wield biological spewers that fire bony spikes, living beetles, nerve-eating worms, or strangling vines. Dying at their hands is a living nightmare. Hormigons will kill you only slightly better, as they are armed with razor-sharp teeth and scything talons. Rippers are maggot-shaped vermin whose sole function is to consume and digest biomass. While they are more of a function of consuming a planet, they are known to attack and devour targets many times their size. Titus recovers Brother Kelstros' Deathwatch bolter and promises to avenge the fallen. Certainly a virus bomb could have been fired from a capital ship, but the Deathwatch are known for operating in small teams. It is likely a demand of logistics and technology that the kill team recovered the virus bomb from their armory, filled with all sorts of specialized weapons, but with no capital ships immediately available, the ground-based launcher was the best option. After some argument with the automated systems of the launching facility, TITUS is able to load and fire the virus bomb into the stratosphere. This will choke and kill many Tyranids, but it is the nature of their species that they quickly adapt to any threat. This is not a victory, but merely a delaying action. With his team dead and the mission complete, TITUS seems resigned to make a ferocious last stand. TITUS empties his Deathwatch bolter into the oncoming hordes. The Deathwatch use specialized ammunition even more custom than the already complex standard bolt. These can be adamantine core rounds meant to pierce armor, inferno rounds filled with incendiaries, or hellfire rounds filled with mutagenic acid that burns through flesh like butter. The Deathwatch bolter is designed to be able to fire from the standard magazine or quickly feed from reservoirs mounted to its side for specialized shots. This gives the operator flexibility in what targets they engage with what rounds. TITUS empties the bolter into the oncoming horde before dumping his grenades into them as well. The battle closes to melee distance, and TITUS expertly rips apart a dozen gaunts with bolt pistol shots and chainsword slashes before a spore mine knocks him to the ground below. Undeterred, he fights on, that is, until he's confronted by a Carnifex. Carnifex come in many forms, but what they all share is they are monstrous shock units meant to break through entire enemy lines, let alone kill a single Astartes. TITUS shows his experience by dodging many scything talons and spines fired at the creature's back, but the truth is the Carnifex is just too powerful. A Carnifex is meant to charge in and destroy main battle tanks and dreadnoughts, meaning a lone marine with no heavy weapons stands little chance. After a valiant effort, TITUS is impaled with a massive talon, slicing through his vital organs, and gouts of blood pour out of our hero. Just as a massive talon threatens to behead TITUS, a salvo of bolt shells rip into the skull and jaw of the Carnifex, finally being enough to bring the monster down. Demetrian TITUS, the former captain of the 2nd Company of the Ultramarines, brother of the Deathwatch, dies. But this is not the end of our story. If you want to support the channel, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for new videos, and comment for the comment gods. Your viewership alone helps me in the algorithm and is appreciated. If you want to take your support a bit further, please become a YouTube member or support us at patreon.com/counterpoints. Check out the other videos on the channel, support our sponsors, and I'll catch you in the next one. Until the end.